This is a Patreon special, and the reason it's a Patreon special is because we have American McGee here.
Hello, Liz.
Hello! And American was our very first patron, and we're so privileged that he's been spending a few days in our company and we in his company. And not only that, if you look over my shoulder, you should be able to see Synchronicity. Yeah! Right, so I'm now going to put you through a series of questions.
Excellent.
And you can just give me off the cuff, just tell it like it is, all right?
Will do.
So here we go. So first question, where would you most like to be right now?
I'd like to stay here. This has been a phenomenal anchorage, and actually the weather has suddenly inspired to be perfect again, and it makes it really hard to leave.
Yeah,
You know.
I think I agree with you on that. What's your soundtrack when you're sailing? Do you have one?
Yeah, so I think like you, we carry iPods with lots and lots of different music, but I think I heard you listening to a lot of the same stuff. It's got a sort of Middle Eastern, Indian, and Asian vibe to it, but it's sort of a mix of house and sort of lounge music, and that goes along really well. Of course, when you get to Thailand and you're on some of the beaches, you want to put on some Bob Marley, and but we've got a good mix, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Next one. What do you miss most about home, not including friends and family?
Does my dog count?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I miss the dog quite a bit. But life in Shanghai, I mean, it's really hectic. And actually, you sort of miss the energy of it, you know. There's a rhythm to it that's quite exciting, and the exact opposite of the rhythm we have here on the boat. So after some days on the boat, you do sort of get that feeling of, I wonder what's going on in the city and what the people are doing, you know.
Yeah, too right. So, just to let you know, American McGee, although he's from America, lives in Shanghai and has done for the last 10 years, so he's a traveller. So, on that note, do you think travel broadens the mind, or does it reinforce old prejudices?
Well, I have pasted to my monitor at work the Mark Twain quote of travel being the antidote to bigotry and shallow-mindedness, and so I love that, and I'm an honest, firm believer in the idea that the more we get out into the world, the more we meet people from other countries, the more we realize that a lot of the barriers and a lot of the fears that we have are made up, they're fictional, and that we are all exactly the same, we all want the same things, and I mean, everyone in the world is a nice person, really.
I agree, because, and that's a bit annoying, because that was my answer, so when we do this, I'm going to have to think of something else. Next one, what would your superpower be?
So yeah, we talked about this the other night. The reason I have a boat and the reason I love being on the water is since I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Jacques Cousteau, and I actually grew up on a diet of almost exclusively Jacques Cousteau and Monty Python. And so I always wanted to be a merman or a fish or to be something in the water, and so the idea of being able to breathe underwater is actually at the top of my list for superpowers.
That's a really good one. I think that's an excellent one, yeah. American, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I've been making games for 20-something years now, 22 years, and it's an okay job, but when I'm not able to do the writing and the really creative parts of it, which is a very small portion of it actually, then I lust for things that are involve more problem solving, and I like mechanical things, and that's another reason I like having a boat, because you're constantly forced to fix things and solve problems. So it's funny, I would actually think about traveling and fixing stuff.
So you're nearly there.
Yeah, almost there.
Yeah, nearly grown up.
Yeah.
Wow. And kind of following on from that, what would you say your favourite bit of kit on board Synchronicity is? Favourite bit? Excluding, of course, the fan belt.
That's a good question. I don't know, I've brought over a lot of tools. That's one of the advantages of living in China, is you can buy tools very cheaply and then I bring them over to the boat. I think there's just one very nicely put together tool kit that contains spanners and wrenches and sockets, and it's just a really nicely put together collection, and it's in this aluminum box with a flip lid, and it's just nice to pull that out and everything is there and at your hand.
Yes, that's something we could learn to do actually. If you could go back in time, where would you go?
Well, that's a really good one. I think I'd want to go to Da Vinci so Leonardo da Vinci, and I'd go to the town of Da Vinci where he was doing his magic and creating things in Italy, and see and be alongside that creative mastermind who was at work constantly building all kinds of incredible inventions. And on top of that, I love Italy, and I love that part of Italy, so I think that'd be a really interesting place to go back and see.
Yeah, interesting. What's your favourite anchorage?
I think we've found the new one. So this is the Five Islands, or Koha, and this is definitely at the top of the list. Prior to this, it was Racha and Racha Noi. I really like those quite a lot because, again, you get the spectacular scenery and there's very good diving there as well.
Yeah, we've yet to see that, so I'm very, very interested in that, and we agree. This is certainly in our top 5 of 10 years of sailing. This is right up there, so it's been quite special. If Follow the Boat could grant you one wish, what would it be? One.
And it would be something that involving the boat.
Could be anything.
I'd love to escape with you guys for a year and do what we're doing right here, just sailing side by side and have a year of traveling around together. It is a lot more fun when there's 2 boats because you have someone nearby. It sort of reduces the fear and the stress of being out in a place by yourself. Plus, it's been really fun, to go diving and swimming and cooking and fish catching and all these things together. But at the same time, we've got privacy. In fact, when the current goes, we don't even see each other. It's almost like 2 separate little houses in their own little fields, Yeah.
Well, Follow the Boat may be able to grant you certainly some of that wish some of the time, because you're here in Thailand and so are we. So whenever you come over, you always got to let us know.
Will do.
All right, good. 2 more questions. You're nearly at the end. What's been the highlight of your sailing adventures so far?
It's hard to pinpoint one thing because it really has to do with overcoming fear and overcoming this worry about if something goes wrong, will I be able to fix it? And so it's a conquering of that concern and those concerns and the mystery of a boat. When I first bought this boat, I thought, what are all these lines for? And how am I ever going to figure out which one to pull in order to do? Or, what if the alternator breaks, or what if something else goes wrong? And so over time, the confidence that's come out of owning the boat, fixing the boat, and using the boat for pleasure and has been really great.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I think it's a really huge part of sailing and cruising.
Yeah.
It's a massive part, and it's often not covered in blogs and videos and things, and it's something we're trying to do a little bit of, be a bit more honest about a lot of the cock-ups that occur and the problems that occur. It's ongoing.
When something goes wrong is when you have an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
And if you're not making mistakes, that means you're really not trying very hard, to go out and to do anything. So I think, making mistakes is okay as long as you learn from them.
Learn from them. We always say that. So what did we learn from that? Right, well, we learned not to anchor there or whatever. And very last question, what next?
Well, I'm heading back to Shanghai, but we still have a few more days to go to head back to Krabi. So we're going to visit Lanta, which is just a little further north and east from here, and then after that back to Phi Phi. And then back in Shanghai, it's just back to the grind, making games and watching over the guys in the company.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for being our first victim of the Cruisers Q&A. And it's been a delight meeting you.
It's been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to have met you guys as well.
Yeah, I think we've got a new friend.
Absolutely.